Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's December 26th, the day after Christmas, so I figured I'd take a little time to come out today and shoot a little video to give you guys an update on what's going on with the Chevelle. It's been a while since we made a video on this car, but it's been in the works. I've kind of kept it a little under the radar, so it's just been a project that's ongoing and I only work on it when I have a little bit of time. So let's get right into it then. If you're new to the channel, thank you for subscribing, checking out this video. 2019, we were on a hunt for this car. It used to belong to my father, and then found it. It was a couple towns over, ended up buying it back, and then within the year of having it back home, I stripped it back down. So it used to have a 396 in it and a 4-speed Muncie. Took that out and then started going to town with a little LS turbo build. So, as you can see, this is a twin turbo 5.3 truck motor. It's a Gen 3. We'll give a rundown on what's done to the motor. It is a stock bottom end. There's a lot of people out here making big power on stock bottom end, so I figured if we're gonna get the toes wet on this kind of setup first, we'll start with the stock bottom and then see where it lands. If it scatters itself all over the place, then we'll just know it's time to go a different route. But I think we're going to be good for the power goals that are at hand. But this is a stock 5.3 liter truck motor. It's a Gen 3 LM7. It's got a BTR stage 2 turbo cam, BTR valve train, so it's dual valve springs, retainers. We did LS9 head gaskets. The local machine shop, Center Auto, they surfaced the heads. It's got ARP head studs. Did the ICT billet, valley cover down there, you can see. And then we got that Motion Raceworks steam vent kit. It's a really nice piece. You can see it down through the runners. Got the Proform wrinkle black valve covers, Flowtech manifolds. These are from Jegs. These are pretty cheap actually, and the quality of them is really good. The nice thing about putting this motor together so far was that every bolt that you need, either ICT billet cells or you can just call the dealer and get it. So as you roll along, you don't have to reuse any old bolts. You get all new hardware. These are all nice machine screws and all that. I ended up having to go with the ICT billet alternator relocation because originally we were running the alternator up here, but it hit the manifold. So then our second idea was to put it down in the bottom, but ended up making contact with the steering box. So luckily ICT has a few different options. So this is the LS turbo truck alternator relocation setup. So it brings it right up here. Use a 105 amp alternator. I'm gonna get that from like the 2000 Camaro LS1, and then just run the standard truck pulley. That's just a new GM part. Everything's nice and clean. Now when we put this motor in the car, I ended up sourcing a full swap kit from Muscle Rod. So that's full. Let me see if I get the camera down here. It's a complete engine mount and transmission mount kit. Everything went together super easy. All the parts are really nice quality, and it was decently affordable too, because projects like this add up fast, and the last thing you want to do is start spending excessive money on stuff. I mean, you need it to mount it in the car, but at the same time, like, you don't need to custom fab anything. They have a lot of this stuff already pre-made off the shelf. But I ended up going with an H3 Hummer oil pan because it had the clearance to get over the cross member right there, but not be hanging so low to the ground that it's gonna smash if you hit anything. So I think that was a pretty good fit. Found out about that from Taylor's Extreme Turbo Systems. Check out his channel. His Camaro is nasty, but he's also got a lot of good info on there, especially when it comes to swapping these things. So let's talk about these turbos for a minute. So these are regular off-the-shelf cast wheel Borg-Warner S366s. They're not twin scroll, they're just a single scroll, T4 housing, 88 back housing. They don't take up too much space compared to a lot of those other turbos out there. I looked at doing the VS Racing setups or any of the other you know, cheap imported turbos, but these were the best bang for the buck. I coupled these with some CX Racing 90 elbows, and then some Tile 38mm V-band wastegates. I had been a little worried in the beginning about running 38mm, but for the power goals and boost levels that this car is going to see, I think it's going to be perfectly fine. Especially these turbos aren't crazy big. But if there is any issue, I mean, it's right up in your face. You just unbolt the elbow and then slice away and add some 44s or whatever will get the job done. Water pump. I decided I'm going to run the LS3 6.2 liter pump from the 2010 Camaro, just because it's going to have a shorter pulley on it out to here, so it'll be a little bit tucked back, but it'll also give me the water spout on the on this end, so I can run directly up to the outlet on the radiator. So the cooling system I'm starting to work on now. It's taking a little bit of trial and error to fit parts, because everything for this isn't, you know, just ready to go. So this is actually a radiator from a 70 Camaro. It is a small block, regular dual pass. This is actually from Camaro Central. We had a car at the shop that this came wrong for, and they wouldn't take it back. So it ended up being a part that was sitting upstairs, and I said, hey, it might be the right size, so let's try it. So this is a 26-inch radiator, and it has the spout over here and down at the bottom, opposed to both being here, which is going to make contact with the wastegate, won't even work. And I really don't want to go with a smaller radiator, so definitely going to just run with this. We're going to cut these off, weld some probably dash 16 fittings, run it over to the water pump once that's bolted in, and then get one of the AN conversion thermostat housings and then run it back down there. So probably going to try some SPAL fans, unless there's another option. I found a few radiator shrouds with dual fans or one big single, but I'm gonna play with that over the next few weeks and see what we can do. I just want to make it as tidy as possible and make sure that I can definitely cool this car. I mean, we're gonna try and push 800 horsepower out of this stock bottom end. So if it does. If not, then we're gonna be back to the drawing board trying to find a way to cool it. Next, I ended up going with the Holley EFI high ram. It's a really nice piece. I got the throttle cable relocation kit, which I don't even know if I'm going to use yet, because I had originally bought this from I think it was Motion Raceworks, because my throttle cable does come out through this side, but I may end up just looping it over and running this so I don't have to flip the throttle body. Not sure yet, we'll see. The manifold itself is huge, like it just I'm gonna end up having to cut the hood or run a cowl hood, just because it does stand up over. But it comes with these nice Holley EFI fuel rails. I've got Siemens Deca 80-pound injectors in there. Literally everything bolted right up. There wasn't any issues with clearance. Everything was nice. And then this is the Motion Raceworks fuel setup. So you get these nice AN fittings. I ran a dash 8 in and then a dash 6 out for the return. I didn't hook the return up yet because I don't have the cell back there yet. But yeah, you get a nice MagnaFuel fuel pressure regulator, and then they have these pre-measured. So now that you know most about the motor, let's talk about the transmission that's in this car a little bit. Get under there to see that. So this is a Rossler Terminator 2.5 Turbo 400. I had it built with the 248 gear set. It's got the 70-75 T6 billet drum, so that's to prevent drum explosion, I guess. We'll see. I haven't really seen too many people exploding them without it, but they were in there. It seemed like a good call to make at the time. It does have the Rosslock trans brake they put in, so this should be fun once that's in. They put a brand new pan on it. It's got the rear case thrust bearing, high flow filter. It's got a snap ring stabilizer. and then they prepped it and coated it. So it is a nice piece. They said it'll hold up to like 900 horsepower, which is right where we want to be. So as where it's sitting right now, I need to put a throttle body on it. I need to wire it. We're going to run with the Holley Terminator X EFI kit. Nice simple kit. Comes with everything you need to wire it up, plug it in, and go. And then we're just going to set up the alternator, water pump, get the cooling system squared away, and then get our intercooler mounted in here. There's a few options out there. I've been caught up going back and forth trying to figure out if I'm going to go water to air and just use a shear fabrication manifold, which puts the intercooler right up here. It's about 4.5 inches, and then you put the lid back on. But I don't think I want to run it for the street, just depending on how the cooling is going to be after a few pulls. So I think for a street car, the air to air is going to be the better way for now. Just going to have to fab up brackets to mount it up here and really just shoehorn it down behind the grill. Shouldn't be a big deal. A quick look under the car, as you can see. Here's that fresh new pan. Come back. Here's that nice billet Circle D converter. A nice RTI trans pan right there. Then they got this nice cross member that came with the muscle rods kit for the swap. But it's getting there. It is getting there. This is my first LS swap, so I'm learning as I go. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. That's it for now, guys. Just wanted to give you a quick update video of what's going on with this car. I haven't shot anything with it or posted anything about it in a while, so if you haven't seen it yet, this is it. Stay tuned, subscribe, like, share it, and stay tuned for updates, because as we start moving through the new year, hopefully we're getting some more progress done on this. I would like to do a first start by the summertime. So thank you for watching, and smash that like button if you like Chevelles, if you like LSX builds or turbos or whatever. Let's just get we got to get some movement on this channel. It's been a little bit, so I've been trying to upload for you guys. So thank you again, and we'll see you on the next video.